Dangerous, high-speed police chase during evening rush hour from northwest Indiana to the south side of Chicago. Four-year-old and speeding car. Man leads police on high-speed chase, with child inside, from Indiana to Chicago. Police chase with child inside from northwest Indiana to Chicago. He fled because he got nervous, because there was more than one police car there. A traffic stop attempt in Hammond, Indiana led to a police chase on Bishop Ford, Dan Ryan, and into back of the yards. Chicago, Tuesday evening, December 17, 2024. High-speed police chase during evening rush hour from northwest Indiana to the south side of Chicago. The driver was in the car with his daughter when police stopped him in Hammond, Indiana, and claims he just sped off out of fear. His girlfriend was on the phone with him during the chase. He says he doesn't know why they were following him. He didn't know at all. The driver was driving a dark-colored BMW sedan. A Channel 7 helicopter began tracking a police chase on Bishop Ford Highway with a 4-year-old girl in the speeding car. The chase continued on the oncoming side of Dan Ryan Highway. The black BMW was weaving in and out of traffic during the evening rush hour before swerving down 59th Street and speeding through several streets and into a plaza. The chase became more dangerous, and the police tried to stop the driver, but to no avail. It all began just after 5 p.m., when Highland police attempted to stop the car in Hammond, Indiana, as part of a joint law enforcement operation involving multiple agencies. Deputies would not confirm the cause of the traffic stop, saying it was under investigation. Then the chase turned into the narrow streets, alleys, and courtyards between the houses. 26-year-old was able to stop just a few steps from his relative's home. Before he finally got out of the car, an officer ran to grab the child and carried him on his shoulder. He was arrested after suffering an electric shock. He was treated by paramedics at the scene before being taken into custody. Authorities say the person could have easily stopped, but instead fled at a high rate of speed, putting the 4-year-old passenger and others in danger. The driver faces multiple charges, including criminal fleeing, reckless endangerment of a child, and possession of marijuana. Police said he is now in a Chicago correctional facility, where he will await extradition to Indiana. Violent crash during police pursuit. The armed robbery suspect not only survived the accident, but also managed to get out of the car on foot. Four people in a red sports car. Very high speed and dangerous chase through Los Angeles and San Bernardino counties. The driver drives the car at 120 miles per hour while being pursued by police. Then the four men abandon the car and flee. Welcome to the High Speed Channel. A robbery suspect led the Los Angeles Police Department on a wild chase through parts of downtown Los Angeles and Koreatown. Los Angeles, California. Thursday afternoon, August 1st, 2024. Suspected stolen BMW. A high-speed police chase in Los Angeles took a dangerous turn as the driver of a BMW crashed into another vehicle before knocking down a pole, hitting a parked car, and knocking down a street sign. At Wilton and 5th Streets in Koreatown, the BMW collided with a white Mazda, causing the vehicle to veer off the road and crash into a nearby building. After hitting another vehicle, a parked white SUV, and knocking down a sign, the suspect in the BMW not only survived the crash, but was able to escape the vehicle on foot. The pursuit began after an armed robbery. 3 people, 2 men and a woman, were arrested. A gun was recovered at the scene of the Koreatown incident. No fatalities were reported as a result of the serious crash. Next, driver breaks 120 miles per hour during police chase through Los Angeles and San Bernardino. Los Angeles County, California. Thursday night, January 11th, 2024. 4 people in a red sports car. A very high-speed and dangerous chase through Los Angeles and San Bernardino counties. The red Dodge Charger was connected to a business robbery. Police located the vehicle, which became the focal point of a police chase that spanned 2 counties. West Covina officers initially located the vehicle, but the chase was called off due to the vehicle's high speed. Law enforcement, assisted by a helicopter, then followed the red Dodge Charger. The California Highway Patrol then took over the pursuit. The suspect drove his vehicle through parts of West Covina, Pomona, and Ontario. The driver was very reckless. The driver exceeded 120 miles per hour and nearly hit 2 vehicles. The suspects abandoned the vehicle near a gas station near South Euclid Street in Ontario, where all 4 people inside the vehicle fled in separate directions. West Covina police said the 4 suspects inside the vehicle were arrested after a chase.
Valley, the driver attempted to cross several lanes at 120 miles per hour, but lost control, and the vehicle went off the road and landed on the side of the road.
She might have seen something that she didn't like there.
our Broward desk here telling us that there was a pursuit, he believed, coming southbound on the turnpike. We had just left Fort Lauderdale Airport and picked up this pursuit that you saw occurring as we watched the police officers right here now backing away. Yeah. They're getting a little bit farther back for safety purposes.
Interesting. And, I wonder if the person, any idea, Ralph, at this point, how many people are inside the van?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm getting information from some people here. Hang on just one second, Belk. They're saying that they're concerned just with this time they're focusing on the driver of the vehicle. They want the driver of the vehicle to get out. They're covering the back of the vehicle there and the exit, you know, any way to get out, the doors and the rear doors there. And they're gonna hold here until they get some compliance from the person and or persons inside that vehicle, that crashed vehicle.
I mean, speculation, but I wonder if the person inside the van may have shouted something. I've got a weapon, a bomb.
Yeah, I can see it.
Again, just speculation on my part, but they came in and then backed up so quickly.
On the left-hand side of the car, you can see the passenger side door, someone trying to put pressure on it. It was vibrating there for a second, somebody trying to kick it open. So they are communicating. You can see the hands there. Somebody's got their hands right in the window. Let me zoom in here a little bit. Hold on. I'm going to throw the extender in there, and you can see somebody with a baseball cap on trying to climb out of the vehicle. The door kind of got crushed against the side of the vehicle there.
Yeah, trying to get out by kicking it. And for folks just joining us, this is the end of a police pursuit in which a pit maneuver was performed. This van was
broken
wrecked.
The glass there. He's extending his hands out the window. So this person is complying with the police orders of exactly what they want him to do. Yes. So they're backing away. They want to make sure that he comes out of there unarmed. And he's going to do that. He'll end up falling out the window and probably hitting the pavement right there. That's maybe the least of the troubles for him for right now.
Shirtless at that.
And now he'll hug the ground here in just a second. And yeah, okay. So we're gonna back out here just a tiny bit. He's on his knees. There's a dog waiting, along with the police officers back behind their vehicles.
And as you mentioned earlier, Ralph, this is live television. It looks like this person is surrendering peacefully, but we just want to remind our viewers we don't know what may or may happen next here. So we've got our eye in the sky here, but it is live. But so far, it seems like this person is complying.
Right. So what we had a pursuit that came down the highway. They were following a vehicle southbound. We picked it up around Hollywood Boulevard. They're taking this person back into custody and securing him back over here. They're still focusing on the vehicle, so we're going to come back over towards the front of the vehicle. Anyway, that car was swerving all over the roadway on the turnpike southbound around the area of Hollywood Boulevard. When it got south of Miramar towards that interchange there that you can get on the turnpike extension, they elected to come westbound here all the way to University Drive, where they got on the exit, but before they reached the exit, they collided with the wall, guardrail, after a pickup truck, a police officer in a pickup truck did a pit maneuver and kind of sideswiped the back of the vehicle, turned it into the guardrail. It did enough damage that it made the vehicle have to come to a stop over here, so they couldn't go any farther. So now we've got some officers look like they're going to be getting a little bit closer here to check and see if there are any other occupants of the vehicle. The critical moments here for safety for the officers, and they're clearing it. So it looks like right now, by body language, there's nobody else in that vehicle. So you've seen it here on 7, a pursuit of a vehicle. Didn't last too long from our standpoint, but no injuries to anybody at this point. Doesn't look like anybody got hurt. As far as we know, no accidents reported from the pursuit coming down the highway, coming down the turnpike. So we'll turn it back over to you.
Ralph, briefly, could you give us a look at any traffic backups, how this is affecting this specific spot of roadway this afternoon?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we can see it's being affected.
Yeah, there's that police helicopter we were telling you about. That's the exit ramp from the turnpike extension going westbound at University Drive. And you can see that we're going to bring the camera back up here. It's not too bad right now. It's about normal for rush hour, but unfortunately these people here, until they are 100% certain that they're secured this area, they're just going to have to wait there behind the police cars. They'll end up moving a couple of them out of the way to get traffic moving.
Up in Air 7 HD over a high-speed pursuit. CHP chasing a woman behind the wheel of a stolen Honda CR-V northbound 5 freeway up the Grapevine, now approaching Gorman. We have made our way through Santa Clarita, through Castaic, and now approaching Gorman. You can see still pushing the pedal to the metal. There is at least that one unit behind. There are additional units up ahead. There is an air unit involved as well. She's pushing 90 to 100 miles per hour as she heads up into the high desert. Eventually, we will come out on the other side of these mountains, and we'll see where she decides to take us. She showed a head fake just a moment ago of getting off the freeway, now is maintaining the northbound side of the 5 freeway. She could take this all the way up to Bakersfield for all we know. We will see just how much fuel is left in the tank. You can see her hugging that number 4 lane there now as she finds a little bit of clearance. There was some heavier traffic earlier. She was able to navigate that. CHP taking this over from LAPD. The Sheriff's Department was tracking this through Santa Clarita as well. There have been numerous agencies behind this woman, but now California Highway Patrol, the lead agency with that primary black and white, doing an excellent job keeping up. In fact, just a moment ago, you may have seen where she tried to get off the freeway, went over the Gore Point, got on the freeway. He took the exit and came right back onto the 5 freeway and is now right behind her on her tail, about 5 or 6 car lengths back. He is getting ready in the event that she slows down for a possible pit maneuver on the freeway. That would be if the conditions were optimal, if there was no other traffic in the area and she did slow down. Right now, though, she's going too fast for a pit maneuver, so the next best option is going to be a spike strip. And there are units up ahead, if the opportunity allows, who are also ready to spike that vehicle if, again, they have just the right conditions to do so. In the meantime, you can see the squirrely driver weaving across all lanes of the 5 freeway. That primary unit doing a great job keeping up next to all those trucks as she tries to evade law enforcement. Right now, we only have a visual of that one CHP cruiser.
The female suspect in that vehicle, do we know where it originated, where that car was stolen from?
The original location was on the 118 freeway, so somewhere either in Simi Valley or perhaps on in the San Fernando Valley. LAPD picked this pursuit up. Unclear how they determined that it was stolen, but it is believed to be a Grand Theft Auto suspect behind the wheel of the stolen CRV. But it was LAPD that picked it up initially and then handed this off in Santa Clarita. And now, as we say, this is now the 3rd agency, CHP, which will likely maintain the command of this pursuit for the duration here, especially once we get up into no man's land here.
Yeah, certainly, and I know that's quite of a steep incline as well. Very light traffic right now, but we certainly have seen some erratic, crazy driving from this suspect. Do we know if there's anybody? Oh, on the right side of your screen, by the way, is the time she tried to fool CHP and get off the freeway. But they weren't fooled for too long. They certainly got right back on the freeway to pursue the suspect. Do we know if there's anybody else in that vehicle with her?
That's a great question, Ellen. Right now, we do not know whether there's anybody else inside that vehicle. I guess, I'm guessing that they have caught a pretty good glimpse inside the front seat to determine that it is a female. We have not seen that. We don't have visual confirmation of the driver's description, but they are reporting this as a female driver. You can see just from this angle, those windows are heavily tinted, really impossible to see from this distance. By the way, Ellen, I should reiterate, we are still a couple of miles away from this pursuit as we try to keep up with her. She is maintaining triple-digit speeds here, doing in excess of 110 miles per hour. So we are still trying to catch up. That CHP unit trying to maintain his speed. And right now, once we do catch up, we'll get a better glimpse to see if there's anybody in that passenger seat. But right now, too early to say, just that driver that we're aware of.
Whoa, excellent camera work. If you're 2 miles away still, this is incredible to watch this. She is just flying by these other vehicles.
Yeah, a lot of hard-stopping moments here, especially with those other motorists in the way. You can see just how fast she's going, and some of the turns, even the simple lane changes that we've observed, have been very last minute and very erratic. And if you make a last minute lane change at a high rate of speed without complete control of that steering wheel, things could go awry very fast. It is a compact SUV, a little top heavy, and at these speeds, it doesn't take much to spin out of control or even flip the vehicle if you make one wrong move. So we've got a careful eye on the behavior behind the wheel here, as she is certainly desperate to evade that officer, but you can see the landscape up here. There's not really much escape opportunity for her to take advantage of. I mean, you really just have the 5 freeway. There's very few exits and very few roads once you get off the freeway, and all of them have CHP officers ready and waiting, and that's going to continue all the way up the state. I mean, she could travel all the way up the 5 freeway till she runs out of gas, and you can see they are already leapfrogging her with units behind, units ahead, really looking for that opportunity to potentially spike the vehicle and hopefully bring it to an end that way. But look at how that primary unit is skillfully navigating all of that truck traffic just to keep up with her, even using the shoulder when she has to get around traffic. And that primary CHP cruiser has done an excellent job, by my eye, keeping up with her. Not easy at these speeds.
Yeah, certainly not. And she's at least going 100 miles per hour. We've seen up to 113 miles per hour. That's pretty incredible. And just flying through all the different lanes and driving like that, that's a pretty scary situation. Thank goodness there's not a lot of traffic on the 5 right now, at least there.
Yeah, I mean, from a tactical standpoint, it seems to be in the best position, the best place is on the freeway for a pursuit just like this. Look at that, another black and white, ready to engage, just waiting there to make the U-turn, and now you have at least a couple of units on her tail now. But yeah, this is the safest place, all things considered, on a controlled freeway. Hopefully they could perform some kind of a traffic brake up ahead, and that would reduce the risk to other motorists and even supply the opportunity for a possible pit maneuver, but she'd still have to slow down tremendously to even consider it. But even a spike strip, if you can get rid of all of the other traffic and take them out of the picture and just have that one SUV coming towards you, much easier to lay down that spike strip, especially with only 3 or 4 lanes on the 5 freeway as it begins to narrow up ahead here.
Yeah, it certainly would be great to get her off the freeway, because this is a pretty scary situation. And just like you said, there's one way to where she's going. There's really no exits. There's nothing out there in the middle of nowhere. So I don't know where she thinks she's going to go. She's going to end up, like you said, in Bakersfield. But once there, then what? I don't know what she's thinking. None of us do,
exactly. And there are places to hide up there. I mean, it's obviously a more densely populated city if she takes that route. Right now, we're in Fraser Park. Yet another CHP officer pulling over for her, making room to give her as much. Look at this! Almost crashing into those construction barrels at a high rate of speed. That's the kind of thing that could really end this in a crash really, really quickly. If she starts colliding with debris or objects, especially those construction cones or barrels, those will definitely put a dent and potentially put a stop to this pursuit really quick. And she is using that shoulder because there's really very little room to play with, threading the needle through the barrels, trying to get around this traffic. It's down to 2 lanes. Just like I mentioned, as the freeway narrows, there's very limited opportunity for them to chase her. However, she is managing to navigate these nooks and crannies, squeezing through traffic here, squeezing through construction barrels, trying to get away from those primary units. They are still keeping up with her, but this is becoming more and more dangerous by the second at these speeds on these narrow lanes.
Yeah, we've never really, you don't really see this kind of speed when on this freeway like this, on shoulders and going through those traffic barrels. My goodness.
Yeah, and when first of all, for some reason, for whatever reason, when we take these pursuits up into the high desert here, it typically happens at night, where we are very limited and don't have the best optics on pursuits like this. This is a unique daytime pursuit up the Grapevine along the 5 freeway, finally getting our first glimpse of the female driver, who appears to have possibly a pink backpack or maybe a shopping bag on her lap. So she's steering that vehicle with something, a large object. I don't want to speculate what else it could be, because I mean, it could be anything, quite frankly. But she has a large object on her lap as she tries to wrestle with that steering wheel, even taking her hands off the wheel.
Oh my goodness.
Taking her hands off the wheel at triple-digit speeds, doing about 110 miles per hour up the 5 freeway, ruffling through that bag. It looks to be either a shopping bag or a backpack that she's rifling through to try and get something, but she is taking her hands off the wheel at extremely dangerous speeds, passing by every other car in front of her, using that shoulder now to evade those primary units. This is not looking good, Ellen. Not at all.
No, I feel for those drivers on the freeway. If anyone's watching, you have your friends or family on that freeway, give them a heads up, because my goodness, this is a cringeworthy type of pursuit.
Yeah, it really is. And by the way, in the last several miles here, we are now on a downhill incline that is really accelerating all of the traffic on the freeway, including that pursuit vehicle. She's obviously got the pedal to the metal, still pushing 95 miles per hour here, and she will have a decision to make whether to take the 5 northbound or to get off at Bakersfield. We'll see what she chooses coming up in the next couple of miles, but the traffic situation should lighten a little bit more, but she's still hugging that backpack, trying to get something out of it, driving with one hand on the steering wheel, that left hand wrapped around the steering wheel, and that right hand trying to get a hold of something in the bag. She is all over the paint now, all over the road, as she tries to continue this pursuit up the 5 freeway. This is just a really nerve-wracking situation. There's so many other cars, even though volume is relatively light. Just one wrong move, and somebody's going to get hurt here at these speeds, as this distracted driver is now just refusing to slow down. Yeah,
watching her go through that backpack and looking down while she's going that fast, you don't realize how fast you come upon another vehicle if just a second looking down.
Yeah, and you have to wonder what else they are aware of here in terms of, what they know about the suspect. Is she potentially armed? If they don't know that, they have to assume that. I mean, what is she reaching for? It's a possibility, at least, that they have to consider. What else could she be reaching for in that bag? What is so important that she is rifling through that backpack? It's a large bag on her lap as she continues up the 5 freeway here. Again, weaving across all lanes, and the CHP, if we widen out a little bit, has put a little bit of distance between them and her. So they have fallen back about a quarter mile at least, and whether that's intentional or unintentional, I'm not quite sure. It's possibly a tactic that they're using, but in any event, they have fallen back for whatever reason. Yeah, well, maybe it is just to take some of the pressure off her, and maybe she'll slow down, but she doesn't seem to be showing any sign of slowing down. In fact, she's speeding up. As you said, it's a downgrade hill now, so that's a pretty scary situation. Yeah, and now we've kind of cleared most of the mountains up here, so she is now in the desert, continuing up the Grapevine here near Tehachapi, approaching exit 215 along the 5 freeway here. No signs of getting off, although that's always an option, but the exits become fewer and further apart as you head up this way. So we'll see if she shows any. They're going to track this from above. They have units up ahead. They will likely, and they may already be in the process of handing this off to another CHP division office who will be waiting for her up ahead. But they have eyes on her. They are tracking her. They know where she is. They don't know where she's going. But right now, as long as she sticks to the 5 freeway, that's going to play very well into their bag of tricks. They could have units waiting for her with a spike strip at some of the exits just in case she does get off, even with other traffic on the freeway, or if the traffic lightens up even more, especially if they can perform that traffic brake, then they could lay down a spike and potentially spike those tires. But again, at these speeds, it's tough. I mean, a spike strip is tricky at any speed, but at these speeds, it's tougher and more dangerous to really get an effective spike in those tires. Yeah, we're showing 119 miles. There she is, getting off. Okay, exiting now. Okay, let's see what happens now. Getting off. I want to get an exact exit here.
Wheeler Ridge Road and Laval Road.
Wheeler Ridge. She's getting off at Wheeler Ridge, making a right turn. That's going to put her on the westbound side of Wheeler Ridge, finally getting off the freeway for the first time in a while. Now, she was on surface streets in Santa Clarita. We did not observe that, but we will see how the driving behavior changes now that she's off the freeway on Wheeler Ridge Road, coming up on a red light. Will she go through it? Will she stop? No sign of law enforcement here, and she's going to pause and go right through the red light. Right through the red light. CHP, are they back there? No sign of CHP here yet, but presumably they are trying to catch up. I'm guessing. I have not heard that, but I'm guessing they're trying to catch up, and they certainly do on her. Now it looks like she's getting back on the southbound side of the freeway. Getting back onto the southbound side of the 5 freeway.
Oh boy, so going back to where we started, okay.
Yeah, this is going to be really is nerve-wracking, and now we have kind of temporarily lost that view through the driver's side window. But yeah, I mean, she was really clutching onto that backpack and going through it. Seemed to be intently looking for something in there. Again, can't imagine what it was, but hopefully she's got both hands back on the wheel here, swerving to get around some of these trucks here. She's done a pretty remarkable job. Even at that construction zone, she managed to squeeze through those barrels, almost like a driving course, like an obstacle course. She really managed to thread the needle down there, and she's going to approach that construction zone once again here if she continues southbound. But that is not easy to do at those speeds. She was weaving across all those lanes, squeezing through traffic in between 18-wheelers. We've seen a certain amount of competency behind the wheel here, but we may also be seeing a certain amount of luck as well, because it is not easy to maintain control of that little SUV at these speeds in these conditions, especially without both hands on the wheel.
Right, exactly. We'll give her that. That definitely has been some impressive maneuvering of this vehicle. And I think she's still clutching that pink bag or backpack. And can't
She's still got something. Yeah. Looks like she may have come in contact with something. Look at that front right fender has some damage to it. She's dragging the trim to that fender is kind of dangling. She might have struck somebody during this pursuit, or perhaps prior to us picking this up. One thing I noticed, if you look in that passenger seat, Ellen, again, some sudden moves there with that steering wheel, but if you look at that passenger seat, it appears to be empty. So a good possibility that this is an empty vehicle. Let's hope. Let's just hope that, at least for the time being, this is most likely an empty vehicle. We can just kind of cross our fingers there for the time being, but that passenger seat is empty. She is still fooling around with something in her lap, and our first sign of visual damage to the front right fender of that vehicle.
Yeah, Chris, could that have happened when she hit that traffic barrel?
That's a good possibility.
I wonder.
That might have done it. That could have done it. It's very possible.
Yeah, it's at such a high speed. Who knows? I don't know if these are real sturdy. I don't know what kind of car. I mean, CRV Honda, but yeah, that's quite a bit of damage if that's what it was.
Yeah, it's a little odd. There's also, it looks like the bottom side of the front bumper is dangling as well there. Maybe the undercarriage, some piece of plastic perhaps is dragging on the front as well. So something tells me this may have come from something else, maybe not that barrel, but it's possible. You never know. We haven't seen her come too much closer to any other cars, but again, this pursuit was going on for at least 15 or 20 minutes prior to us picking it up, and maybe even longer than that. So we just don't know. At one point, I should say, she was zigzagging through the Santa Clarita Valley on surface streets before we eventually caught up with her on the 5 freeway. So it looks like a mostly freeway pursuit here, but at one point she was engaging with sheriff's deputies and LAPD units on surface streets at various points in Santa Clarita, as well as the San Fernando Valley. So again, we weren't privy to what was going on there, but for whatever reason, at this juncture, it does not look like CHP has had the opportunity to re-engage, although, did you see one, Robbie? I think, okay. So she may be coming up on a spike strip here, Ellen. We'll keep an eye out for that, but yeah, that would be great. It would be great. There's nobody behind her, but we now have information that leads us to believe that there may be a spike strip waiting for her up ahead here.
Oh, we can only cross our fingers and get her off the road, especially as she's going to come down further south on the 5. She's definitely going to run into some more traffic.
Go ahead. Yep, we're going to see that spike here any minute if they're able to lay one down. There's apparently an empty stretch that they're going to attempt to spike her with here. Again, she's in a pretty empty stretch of the freeway. You can see nobody in front of her, nobody behind her.
Right.
If they could place that strip down, that's all about timing and luck there, and skill, obviously. But if they can lay down a good spike, that would be great for everybody involved here.
Oh yeah, we're all going to be holding our breath, hoping it works.
All right, so she's continuing southbound now. There is some light traffic, mostly trucks up here, mind you, which is, you know, it's more dangerous for her than anybody else. You know, God forbid she hit a truck. You know, it's much better than hitting another, you know, minivan full of kids or, you know, something like that. So this is a well-traveled freeway when it comes to cargo trucks, and she's seeing a lot of that truck traffic this afternoon, and anytime that she sees any cars, she's using that shoulder to get around traffic. The 5 freeway is about 3 lanes right here, so it varies between 3 and 4 lanes. She's been using that shoulder at various points. She's still maintaining her speed here, about 90 miles per hour, maybe a little bit faster, upwards of 100 now, as she continues southbound on the 5 freeway. Still have yet to see that spike strip attempt, but I think it may be coming up in the next half mile or so.
Okay, let's all cross our fingers and hope that, oh, there's this. Okay, there's the CHP right behind her.
There's
now.
the CHP unit. You'll notice he didn't accelerate. He did not have his lights and sirens on, so that is intentional. They're gonna give her some space here and let the unit up ahead go ahead and give it that spike attempt. They are not going to pursue her yet from behind. They've laid back, they've pulled back, taking a different posture, using a different tactic, setting up for that spike up ahead. If that has the desired effect, then they can pull up behind her. If it doesn't, they could still pull up behind her if they think that's going to help get her off the road. What they don't want to do at this point is agitate her any more than she already is, because she's, you know, well, they're pulling up behind her now, so that may be an indicator right there that they're looking to re-engage. I can't tell from this angle whether those sirens are on or those flashing lights. They look to be off. They look like they're off, but he is right behind her, and so we'll see if she speeds up or potentially has a change of heart here. You never know. Sometimes we follow these pursuits for hours, and then when you least expect it, they just pull over. Maybe it's because they're running low on fumes, or some other reason they just run out of stamina, and you know, they decide to just pull over. That would be the best scenario, but we'll see what happens.
All right. We're about just 30 seconds or so from being on Eyewitness News at 3 o'clock on ABC 7. So we're going to talk to you for, we're going to talk to you in about 15 seconds, Chris.
That's good.
This is Eyewitness News with live breaking news.
Hi, we're following breaking news on ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 3 o'clock. A dangerous pursuit through the Grapevine, and this is happening right through the Antelope Valley right now. I'm Ellen Leyva.
And I'm Colleen Sullivan. Let's go back over to Chris Christie in Air 7 to tell us the latest details on this pursuit. Chris.
Yeah, I want to recap what we're watching here. A high-speed pursuit down the 5 freeway, coming down the Grapevine as CHP tries to approach this vehicle from a number of different angles. They've got units off the freeway, they've got units behind her on the southbound side of the 5 freeway, and units waiting for her up ahead. You can see that black and white getting on the freeway, transitioning on right now. Again, they are trying to get this woman off the road. This was an LAPD pursuit that started somewhere near the San Fernando Valley on the 118 and ended up in Santa Clarita. LA County Sheriffs followed her through the the valley, and then eventually CHP took it over on the 5 freeway as she continued all the way up past Castaic, up the Grapevine, and now going southbound after making a U-turn just a few miles back near Fraser Park. And now you can see she's continuing on the southbound side at triple-digit speeds in excess of 110 miles per hour. There is nobody else in the vehicle that we are aware of, but she has at times been rifling through either a shopping bag or a backpack that is in her lap that we saw just a few minutes ago. You might be able to re-rack some of that video. You can see her with a backpack in her lap, a pink backpack, with one hand on the steering wheel, at times taking both hands off the steering wheel at triple-digit speeds, coming very close to other traffic. At one point, she even struck a construction barrel as she sped through a construction zone, but it is unclear at this point what has caused that damage. Some minor damage on the front right fender of that vehicle. Also, the front bumper appears to be dangling off as well, at least a part of it anyways, as we take a closer look at the front end of that stolen CRV. Again, that is a Grand Theft Auto suspect behind the wheel of that Honda CRV, guys.
On the right-hand side of the screen, we're watching video from just a little bit earlier where she's driving with no hands. She's rifling through that pink backpack, at sometimes with one hand.
All lanes, weaving across all lanes over the Gore Point. Almost went airborne there, to be honest with you. Losing control. This will do it. A major rollover crash under the freeway at Quail Lake Road. She might have seen something that she didn't like there, maybe even a spike strip, but in any event, she made a last-minute decision to get off, and that is the end. She is in a very, very major crash, rolling over multiple times into the pillar of that overpass. CHP is going to approach that vehicle. It'll be surprising if the driver wasn't even ejected there. This is a major collision at the end of this pursuit at the 5 freeway and Quail Lake Road. What you guys saw just now was about as bad as this could have possibly ended for the driver inside that vehicle. Man, that was rough, guys.
Chris, look
I'm
at
sorry
that.
You had to see that, but that was a rough crash.
And there's that pink backpack that it was ejected from the vehicle there. Wow, Chris. That is a horrible accident.
And you can see instantly those CHP officers approach the vehicle unarmed, or they're armed, but they were not. You know, they basically confirmed just by just by watching the body language here. You could tell that that driver, at the very least, is incapacitated at this point. Obviously, the call is going out for fire rescue. They're going to come out here and either attend to her or declare this a DOA, but that is a hardly survivable crash by my eye.
Yeah, well, we apologize for everybody at home that had to see such a distressing accident, and boy, that was certainly, that was a bad one, Chris, and thank goodness there were no other cars involved and that there was no other vehicles in her way. Oh my
I
goodness.
don't know what made her decide to weave across the entire freeway at the very last second, but it's possible, and I don't know this for sure, but this is the same exact area where we were expecting to see that spike strip, and so we don't have confirmation, and I don't want to pretend that we do, but this is the area where she may have seen either a patrol unit ahead of her or something else that gave her the last-minute instinct to swerve across the freeway and try and exit the freeway at Quail Lake Road, only to lose control of the vehicle, off-roading for a couple of seconds, and then colliding with that guardrail and eventually rolling over right into the pillar of the Quail Lake Road overpass. Just a terrifying end to this pursuit.
And not a good sign that they're not looking in the vehicle or speaking with anyone in that vehicle. So, well,
I know that was really unbelievable. I don't think that we've really seen at the end of a pursuit happen quite so violently. Again, this is on the 5 North, so of course this is happening through. Chris, was this an exit? Was it off? I'm just trying to think about traffic that might be impacted, but it was a Yeah, you can see this area. Thank goodness.
Overpass. I know we've got some video to re-rack for you. We're going to actually replay the end of this in slow motion without showing the actual crash. So you can see her speeding down the southbound side of the 5 freeway across all 4 lanes, from the right lane over to the gore point, over the paint where she's beginning to lose control because that is a dirt patch between the exit ramp and the main freeway, and then tries to regain control on the exit ramp, going at about 100 miles per hour, riding the center lines before losing control again right here where she loses control of those right wheels. Once she hits the dirt there, that's where she spins out, and that is the end of the story. She just had no chance of getting out of this one.
All right, Chris, we're going to check.
Accident.
It really was. And Chris, we'll be checking back in with you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Car stolen from Hollywood Toyota dealership overnight after crashing through multiple fences and gates. A car dealership robbery suspect kept authorities busy by smashing through barriers in Hollywood and leading officers on a chase to another dealership in Beverly Hills. Hollywood, Los Angeles, September 15, 2023. A wild chase through Hollywood all night in a car stolen from a car dealership, which was vandalized in the process. The incident began around 11:20 p.m. Thursday when officers responded to a break-in at a car dealership on Hollywood Boulevard. Officers with the Los Angeles Police Department's Hollywood Division responded to a call about a suspected carjacking around midnight at the Toyota dealership in the 6000 block of Hollywood Boulevard. When officers arrived on scene, they found the suspect wandering around the parking lot trying to get into vehicles. The man was looking through the offices and calmly walking through the property. Officers weren't sure if there were any other suspects, so they waited and watched the suspect. It was easy because the dealership had large glass windows and the suspect was visible. The suspect broke into the store and vandalized the interior. He was able to find the car keys. Officers ordered the suspect to exit the dealership, but he instead grabbed the keys from the lockbox and entered a white sedan. Once behind the wheel, video shows him driving through a chain-link fence at the dealership before crashing through a security gate and driving away. He then got into his car and crashed through the front gate of the property, breaking through several fences and gates before leading police on a wild chase through the Hollywood area.
All units and officers please continue to stand by.
Driver, exit the vehicle and step out with your hands up, facing away from us.
During the ensuing chase, officers used a spiked bar and attempted a pit maneuver to stop him, but those efforts were unsuccessful. The suspect eventually made his way to a Lamborghini dealership in Beverly Hills. He was arrested around 2 a.m. Dangerous high-speed chase of 4 people involved in a robbery and carjacking through Orange and Los Angeles counties. They sped down highways and streets, passing other drivers and even jumping into a different car to continue their getaway. Authorities were chasing a black Audi, but the suspects changed cars and got into a black Mercedes-Benz after hiding under a highway overpass. Los Angeles. The chase began after the owners of a Buena Park home stopped the suspects from stealing their property and reported the incident shortly before 7:20 p.m. Friday, February 10, 2023. After the suspects failed to drive off in the homeowner's car, they carjacked the Lyft driver. The fleeing vehicle was traveling over 100 mph on Interstate 105. Buena Park police requested assistance from Anaheim police as the suspects continued to flee. The chase then entered Los Angeles County. The chase took place across several interstates, 105 and 110, and various parts of Los Angeles, including Hawthorne, Compton, and Harbor Gateway. Authorities were pursuing a black Audi, but the suspects changed vehicles and got into a black Mercedes-Benz after hiding under a highway overpass. It is not clear if the Mercedes was stolen or if the car was waiting for them there.
Airship above him. Those ground units, however, for the time being, have pulled off because this pursuit is just too dangerous. LA County Sheriff making that call just moments ago. Vehicle coming to a stop. Vehicle coming to a stop. 1, 2, 3, 4 suspects. We're going to follow the driver. 4 suspects running from that vehicle. Again, a wild chase here. Now coming to a foot pursuit. That's going to be Juniper Street, just off of Alameda. LA County Sheriff's units with 2 of those suspects up against the wall. A foot pursuit now with the driver and another passenger. 4 people total in that vehicle. 4 people total. And now one of the that's the driver. That's going to be the driver at gunpoint. That is the driver at gunpoint. We're going to come around here. LA County Sheriff with the driver at gunpoint at Firestone Boulevard and Manchester Avenue. That Mercedes-Benz the other way. Yeah, there's one more guy. a high-speed chase continued back down the other direction on the 105, on the 110 freeway, back onto the 105, onto surface streets. We saw a number of collisions, albeit minor collisions, no serious injuries that we are aware of. But eventually, as he was making his way, I believe, up northbound on Alameda, he stopped underneath the 105 freeway and met up with a getaway vehicle. That's where the Mercedes-Benz comes into play. Underneath the 105 overpass, the suspect dumped the Audi, got into the getaway vehicle, and that chase continued once again at, very dangerous speeds and at times even oncoming lanes of traffic. Just this is nuts. This is one of the craziest pursuits we've seen in a bit. So
Dot chase ends in violent crash in Pico Union. Suspect wanted for armed robbery leads authorities on wild chase in Los Angeles. Los Angeles, California. October 31st, 2024. 2 armed robbery suspects fled in a silver SUV as police pursued them for several miles before a violent crash in the Pico Union neighborhood. The silver SUV was speeding along surface streets, at times driving on the wrong side of the road. South Los Angeles, Harvard Heights, Pico Union. The driver was reckless, speeding and running red lights. In the Pico Union neighborhood, the driver was driving on the wrong side of the road and ran a red light. When the driver ran another red light, he crashed into a car at the intersection of James M. Wood Boulevard and Alvarado Street in Pico Union. The driver and passenger immediately opened their car doors and fled the scene.
Hey, I'm sorry about that. We kind of there she is. You just missed a really wicked crash. It was a pursuit. It was up here in the Pico Union area. There she is, good, climbing over a fence right there. Now that's an armed robbery suspect. LAPD, the helicopter up overhead, still calling out the locations. We're going to try to keep with it. Well, that's the end of that. Can't keep much with it. There you go. The officers, I didn't even know they were chasing the other ones. Look at them all, just coming out of nowhere. Now there was a crash at an intersection nearby, a major intersection. Those officers now running into this apartment building. That's where things get a little bit dangerous, not because we can't see it, but because you've got those hallways in there, you've got other people in that area as well. This could turn into a standoff. Let's get right back to where that crash was. There it is. We were following this vehicle. It was a pursuit. We thought for a little bit there that it was just a following that vehicle moving around very, very quickly. That silver Lexus that with all the front end damage and the smoke, that is the suspect's vehicle, and it crashed into that innocent car right there. It was a hard T-bone right at that intersection. Hopefully those people are okay. The drivers was a hard T-bone right at that intersection. Hopefully those people are okay. The driver's side door is open. Now LAPD, you can see a couple of those units right there. They did run from their vehicles. Hopefully they took the keys, and of course officers from LAPD are making their way over to this location to secure.
They jumped fences and entered an apartment building near 8th Street and Westlake Avenue. Police surrounded the building while the suspects barricaded themselves inside. At around noon, the passenger was arrested. Police are still searching for the driver.
Violent, and I'm really, really hoping that that person inside that other car is okay. And that's one of the reasons why these pursuits, we all know they're dangerous. People can get hurt, but these are reasons why LAPD has those tactics that they do and those policies where they back off. But even when the officers backed off, that vehicle didn't slow down. That vehicle continued to drive very recklessly.
Dangerous pursuit on Highway 105 in Hawthorne. Los Angeles County. Wednesday, October 30th, 2024. Woman in Mercedes leads chase in Los Angeles County. At approximately 11:30 a.m., the suspect was driving recklessly on surface streets. The chase originally began in the Venice area before making its way toward Inglewood and Westchester.
SUV. Look at that. Okay, coming towards us. We're definitely in the Inglewood area. You can read that yourselves. And you can see LAPD. Look at that. Did he just throw up a little smoke coming around that corner? Woohoo! LAPD making it happen. This is the best news we've seen all day. He's actually coming towards us. They got the Waymo car driving the other direction. There he goes. Getting a little tight there. Getting a little tight. Coming back around. Hopefully he's going to get out of the LAX area, and then we can re-engage this as a normal pursuit, not end of lens. But LAPD really, they are working it on the ground because the airships can't stay with him. Oh, what's he picking up? Sentry? He might be making his way back over to the freeway, so that would be fantastic. You got him right there. You can see those speeds. You can see the car, the LAPD. LAX. Oh, wrong side of the road. Wrong side of the road. Up. I like this. What are we on? La Cienega? Oh, I like this. La Cienega, good road to be on. Road to be on. Yeah. Okay, LAPD not going to be playing this game. Yeah. Getting up on the emergency lane. We'll keep. Somebody said for us to stand by. We might be putting this on television. I'm all about it, but I think he's going to be getting back off the freeway. Yep. He's going to be getting off the on-ramp. We're going to lose him behind the building. Okay. Well, everybody's talking at me at the same time. This is a really difficult one to follow. You have no idea. They've got the real serious job. They are right there, lights and sirens. They're worried about public safety. Wrong side of the road again. And this continues coming out of this. We're in the Inglewood area now. But if he stays here, we'll be out of the Inglewood area shortly. Yes. Just before we went live, Christian was talking at me, and I was, we were live on the internet, so there was a little bit of misconfusion. There we go. Wrong side of the road again. I'm wondering if this driver is doing one of those things where I'll just do this dangerous stuff. Hopefully LAPD will get away from me, but they're not. They're not going to let this go. Usually in this type of situation where they start driving this kind of reckless, the helicopter takes over. But in this case, the helicopter cannot because they are in the LAX airspace, and they are not allowed over there because of the aircraft landing at LAX. I'm going to drop out of the doubler as we are getting closer, so hopefully they'll be able to put that helicopter over it, maybe lessen the load for that LAPD officer that's right behind him. But right now, this pursuit continuing, making a little wide U-turn right there. And, I wonder if maybe this guy is hearing us. Well, nope, he's not, because I was wondering if he's going to make his way back over to LAX's airspace. Right now, making our way back into another neighborhood, but he was in an Inglewood neighborhood twice, and he was on Elm and over there by Grainsville, and he just kind of was making circles there. I was thinking, okay, this might be coming to an end, but then he drove away. Now, it looks like we're making our way back towards that location. Again, the speeds, 55 miles an hour in a residential neighborhood, that's just not good. They have to right now because they don't want to lose this guy. And they're also looking for that opportunity where possibly, this is going to be tight. Look, he's trying to get back onto the wrong way on the freeway. He lucked out last time, but now he's doing it again. You got all this traffic out there. Are we on the 90? Is this I know this area. No, this isn't the 90. And look at that. You got a truck coming around a corner. Those are blind turns. Nobody's expecting anybody to be going the wrong way.
The blue SUV was seen speeding along surface streets and at times driving on the wrong side of the road. The driver also entered the wrong side of the freeway several times. Fortunately, no vehicles were struck. The driver of the stolen vehicle was driving the wrong way on an off-ramp on SB 405 in the Westchester area during a dangerous pursuit in the Inglewood area on Wednesday.
They're not going to follow it either because this is just too dangerous for their officers. And again, what are the lights and sirens going to do? The only benefit right now is he's got that emergency lane that he's hugging. We've seen him get off the on-ramp. and hopefully he'll do that again here as soon as he has that availability. But it's slowing down a little bit. Maybe he'll park it and jump out, and actually that might be the best thing that we'll see. It looks like, look at this. You got road work and you've got California Highway Patrol right there. So let's take a look and see what happens. You got the LAPD helicopter over it. Hopefully he tries to rejoin traffic. Okay, doors open. What's going on here? What is this? I have no idea. I have no idea. Getting out of the car? Right. Taking stuff. It's like, do you have time to do this? I mean, we were just talking about the 3-minute hugs. You got these officers right over here. I'm not going to lose them, I promise. They clearly know what's going on. They might make that attempt just to take this guy into custody. Looks like he's jumping up onto going to be joining one of those homeless encampments. I'm going to go out on a ledge, and yeah, he's got a bag. I'm going to go out on a ledge and say maybe not a male suspect, maybe. Running towards the officer, turning around, going back the other way. We say this all the time. We never saw this before. I never saw this before. I have no idea what the original one was. And look, this guy is like, I wonder if they're together. Here, have a water. Nope, don't want it. No, wait, he is going to pick up the water.
The suspect eventually abandoned the vehicle on Highway 105 in the Hawthorne area and walked away on foot, with the woman filling a shopping bag she had taken with her as she tried to get away. After the woman left the car, she ran to the side of the highway, appearing to talk to people down the highway. But she was quickly apprehended by California Highway Patrol officers.
Forward if we can, or to the right, so we could just get a little better look of it right there. But definitely seems to know the area. Now climbing up on some stuff. We're going to try to get the helicopter a little bit closer. Chris, just forward just a little bit. And yeah, the officers, they're also unclear on where this person went. We're going to stay a little bit wider. Okay, all right. Maybe there wasn't a spot for that person to go to. Seems like they're kind of wedged up over there between that wall and that overpass. And these officers, they have their guns out, so they're not playing around, and those are not less than lethal. I'm sure this person's
excellent job, Chris.
Excellent job. Just hang out here until our assignment desk says we're clear, and I also got to make sure that our other friends that may be taking our picture will be clear as well. But if they put them in the car and just take her, then we're done. What do we got? Is that a gun? Thank you, Christian. Thank you for taking us. Can we move either right or left just a little bit? So yeah, okay. I just want to see her. And it is not a political statement, it's a time statement. I just kind of gravitate towards Instagram, but what I'm going to say is it's Stu, S-T-U, not S-T-E-W. I'm not Stewie Griffin, I'm Stu, S-T-U, and it's Mundell, M-U-N-D-E-L, M-U-N-D-E-L. I'm not a Mandel. I don't have 2 L's at the end of my name. You'll find me easily on IG. You can follow me. You can talk to me.
Police chase suspect clocked 140 miles per hour in Los Angeles County. Driver clocked 140 miles per hour in police chase. Los Angeles. December 3, 2024. A reckless driver clocked 140 mph on Interstate 10 in Los Angeles. from downtown Los Angeles, where the suspect, in a dark gray Infiniti sedan, led the Los Angeles Police Department on a chase. The suspect drove through parts of downtown Los Angeles, then through mid-city before abandoning the vehicle outside the 24-hour fitness gym in Santa Monica. At some point during the chase on Interstate 10, the suspect clocked 140 miles per hour in an attempt to evade officers. One person was arrested during the search for the suspect.